Starts in 2 days. I'm late to my ladder predictions. We're here with a 2025 AFL ladder predictor. This time, we're doing it on the trusty tier makers. Last year, it was too hard. And this time, our tier make will be good. So, obviously, when I put in a team, it will be... So, 6th and 18th. First team I put down will be 18th. And then there on the there, which will make it sure. So we'll just get straight to it, alright? 2025, we'll do our Brownlow as well, and more with more stuff than that. But we'll start off with number 18, and I think now it's almost a foregone conclusion. It just has to be Port Adelaide, doesn't it? I mean, Port fans, I'm kidding, it's not Port Adelaide. It has to be Richmond. I mean, I definitely didn't fall anyone there. But, yeah, Port fans, please look at the video. Please don't. But Richmond, yeah, they're the youngest team in the competition, pretty much. They've got like 60 players who probably just graduated from high school in their team. I mean, Richmond in a couple of years, I can see them being good, but this season they've got some very young talent. I mean, they've got, I think, like 8 rookies, and I'm assuming probably 6 of them will start for them as well, because they're pretty high picks as well. But Richmond, yeah, it's going to be a hard season for Richmond, sadly. I don't see them doing much. You know, maybe win one. I think they'll win 1 or 2 games, but don't think they'll win above 4. I think 3 is the max for Richmond to win this season, but yeah, it'll be a tough year for Richmond. Coming in at 17th, I do have the West Coast Eagles. The Eagles at 17th. It's a bold prediction. It's on. What the hell am I saying? Bold prediction, that is just not okay. It's not a bold prediction there. But anyway, the Eagles are a bad team, alright? And I think we know that Eagles are a bad team. Yes, they added new players in the free agency, like Liam Baker, and you got like... I forgot who else added. Anyway, but still, the Eagles are a bad football team. They're not going to be good this season. But you know what? They're going to be better than I think some people will be. I'm excited to see Harley Reid, how he'll play this season, see if he can bring this team to potentially be more fun to watch. He did that last year. Will he do that again? Will he do that again? So, you know what? Let's see the team. Let's see this season. But so far, the Eagles coming in at 17th. Coming in at 16th, we do have the North Melbourne Kangaroos. 16th for the North Melbourne Kangaroos. I find that to be, one that is, I think it's pretty much clear. I don't think North are going to bump out the bottom 3. I know people are saying North, they're going to bump the 3. People have been saying that since like 2023, and they never have. I mean, they've been in the bottom 3 since 2020. 2020. That's his 6 years this year if they don't get out the bottom 3. And it's just going to stay the same. North, yes, they added some new pieces. They added Jack Darling, added, Caleb Daniel to get more experience in this team. I think that I like the Jack Darling move. He won't be like a goal kicker. He might kick 20 goals this season, but it will free up Nick Larkey more. He gives him another target in the full line. Their midfield's dominant. LDU is one of the best players in the AFL. But because he's got in a shit team, he ain't never going to thrive as best as he can when he's in this bad team. Sheasel, they've got a brilliant midfield. McColby Kircher. They've got even more. But, they're Ruckman as well. But this is just a season. North, they'll be better. I think they'll win 6 to 7 games this season. I predicted them to win about 7 games last season. It backfired on me. But yeah. We'll do this for North Melbourne 16th. Coming in at 15th, I do have the Bombers. Now, Bombers fans, don't hate me. I'm a Hawthorn fan, so I don't like the Bombers. But, again, 15th to, in my opinion, first. It's anyone can make the finals. But in my opinion, I think the Bombers are the worst out there at 15. Hear me out, though. The Bombers, yeah, their forward line looks pretty good so far. You've got Isaac Kako, you've got more players, you've got Isaac Kako, you've got, Caddy, you've got really good forwards in this team. I like your midfield, you still got Merritt there, your D is good, but your Essendon as well, you always find a way to stuff up your season. Don't get angry, because it's really what happens. Back-to-back years, you started really well, stuffed up the season. However, this season with the league being more, very strong with good teams, I think Essendon will be the team that just finds it hard to really sustain a really good season, like all year. I mean, they'll be decent. I think they'll win around 10 games. They'll be a pretty good 15th side. But I don't think Essendon, out of all the teams, I have Essendon finishing 15th. I just don't see them, being as good of a team as they would be, usually. But yeah, Essendon 15th. Coming in at 14th, I do have the Western Bulldogs. Now, the Doggies at 14th, it's a bit of a bold call. But have you seen their injury list? The Bond's out for 8 to 10 weeks. Liam Jones out for 8 to 10 weeks, I think. Bond's out for 6 weeks. Then you got Waitman. Hugh Hagen's out with personal issues. You got more very important players. Treloar's out for 8 to 10 weeks. This Doggy side, for the first 10 weeks of the season, may only win like 3 games. And I'm not even joking. And if you're 3-8 or something between 10 games, your first 10, 11 games, in today's AFL, you're not making the finals. You're not all going to be Hawthorn 0-5. That was a bit easier than 3-8, in my opinion. I think the Dogs, they'll have a little bit of a second half resurgence. They'll start in the bottom 3, I think, for the first 12 weeks. And then they'll have a resurgence. But the Doggies, again, it does suck out. And much injuries can really derail a season sometimes. Look, I'm not ruling out Dogs. Dogs can really surprise me. This is a bold call. It's a big decision for my liking. But I think the Dogs are 14th. I just don't think they're going to be past their injuries. And this is definitely Bevo's last season if he were to play. At 13th, I do have the Melbourne Demons. Now, the Demons at 13th, I do like the Demons. I'm a bit scared of the Demons, actually, this season. I feel the Demons could potentially make the top 8. But yet again, will they? Because the Demons are still Demons. I think they do lack some depth. I mean, Clayton Oliver looked really good in this practice match. If he can get back to his best, Petrarca can get back to his best, the Demons will be a scary team. They'll be a team that's annoying. They'll get your wins. They'll pluck some really good games. But once again, the Demons, they're 13th, but for a reason. Remember, the culture was apparently bad a couple of years ago. It wasn't good last year. Maybe they fixed that around, which I think they have. Hasn't been much about, hasn't been much about this stuff, about culture stuff this season. But still think Melbourne, they're going to have a mini rebuild. These next 2 to 3 years, have a mini blip. They've got some young, good players like Van Rooyen, Windsor. They've got some more really good players like that. But Bowie and stuff. They've got some good players, Demons, but I think out of most of these next 12 teams, they just don't stack up to some of the best teams in the competition, which I think is fair. The Demons finishing 13th. I like it, but yeah, it's a big call for this team and definitely the future. Now, coming in at 12th, I do have the St Kilda Football Club. And St Kilda, apparently they looked terrible in their pre-season match. I didn't watch it because I don't really watch pre-season that much. I love football as a sport and everything. But I don't really watch pre-season all that much. I watched a bit of the Hawks game and we lost and I was a bit sad. But, it's only 11 points. It's fine. It's a pre-season game as well. We lost to the Dogs by 50 points last year and made the finals and beat them. So, not really that scared. But the Saints 12. Yeah, I do like the Saints still. I've definitely, since the back of last season, I'm like, yeah, the Saints could be a top 18 next season. I could see it. But then once again, when it gets close to the finals, they got finals. Jeez, I'm off the ball today, eh? God. When it gets close to the regular season starting, I watched too much NFL. Home and away season, God, oh my days. Give me a clap, guys. That was just really good. Home and away season, the Saints, once again, they just don't excite me. Ross Lyon as a coach doesn't excite me. If I'm a St Kilda fan, I would never be excited watching a Saints game. I've never really been, except when they play Hawthorn, when they scare the shit out of me every single time they play us, because they're always so darn close. Last season, 5 points. Season before, 10 points. Why are you going to be so close, St Kilda? Why? Anyway, back to predicting. I think St Kilda being 12th, it's a fair call. Once again, I think they're just not going to be good enough, as they always are. They're always around that 12th position, because they're always kind of, in that mid-area. Coming 11, we do the Gold Coast Suns. And Gold Coast fans, I still don't believe this is your season to make the finals. Just hear me out, Gold Coast. Gold Coast, I would love for Gold Coast to make the finals. And you know what? I think this is their best year to do it. I've got 1 year under Hardwick's, under Hardwick's coaching style and stuff. So they should be getting more used to it and stuff. But then the Suns have got some injuries heading into the game. I mean, Mac Andrew, who I had in my fantasy team, got injured. And they got some more injuries that look quite serious as well, which does concern me if I'm a Suns fan also. But the Suns as well, they can't travel. They're a very bad travelling side. I think they won only one interstate game last season against Essendon, kick after the siren, when Essendon, in round 22, when Essendon, let's be real, were a dumpster fire of a team. It's just fair. But anyway, Essendon, Gold Coast, Gold Coast, they're just not a team that really, I don't think, compared to like your Geelongs, your Brisbanes, your Freos, your Hawthorns, your Carltons and stuff like that. I don't think they stack up just as good as compared to some of those teams. But I have Gold Coast sitting at 11th, coming in at 10, and this might be one that some people don't like. I have the Port Adelaide Football Club coming in at 10th. And listen, I think last year I had Port 7. I didn't believe in them as much as I probably should have. But this year, they have got some injuries. Their two best players on their side, and I'm saying it. Butters, I think Rosie injured as well. Butters and Rosie are both injured. And they also lost Dan Houston at Priest Ferrazzi. And as much as I don't think people are understanding how big of a loss Dan Houston is, as well. He is a massive loss. He was their best player on their team, I reckon. Better than Butters. I'm saying it. I reckon better than Butters. Dan Houston going to Collingwood now is a massive thing. And now Port, I know it's, also now that Kinkley is going to, pass the reins on like a Hawthorn did a couple of years ago, which was one of the worst, what was it called? Plans. I forgot what it's called. It's called a succession plan. One of the worst succession plans ever. But I think succession plans are awkward. I like how Longmire just gave over his coaching when he knew he had to do it. But Port, I think it could be Mick Muffy. Who are the players playing for this season? Carr or Hinkley? And I think they might come into a little area. I think Port, they'll be around there all year. They won't be as much of a powerhouse as they were last year. But I just think because of Hinkley's last year and like the succession plan, some injuries, I just think this year Port will miss out. And when Carr comes back in next year, I think they'll be back in finals. Unless they make it this year, or unless they finish like 16th, then you might be in trouble down. Port fans, don't hate me. Just because I'm a Hawthorn fan, I don't really like you. Doesn't mean anything. I'm just saying that this season, you might just be a little bit lower than you were the last couple. Coming in at 9th, and this team, sorry, but the Carlton Football Club, you're coming in 9th, mate. I'm sorry, Carlton, but I just don't believe in you as much. You've got injuries all over the park already. Jagger Smith, I'm dev over him. I was looking forward to see Jagger Smith play, and then boom, ACL. Like 1 week away from 2 weeks away from your AFL debut in front of 90,000 at the G. You'd probably think he'd play round 1. ACL. That's just devastating for Jagger Smith, and hope he has a speedy recovery. But anyway, still the Blues have got some big injuries, and all it takes for Carlton, touch wood, it doesn't happen, is for, let's say, Paddy Cripps to go down with like a 5 to 6 week injury. They might not win a game for those periods of time. And that potentially could happen this season. You never know, like injuries do happen. Obviously, I don't want that to happen because Patrick Cripps is one of my favourite players in the AFL. But, the Blues, I think their depth will get tested a bit this season. And Michael Voss is under some pressure. I'm starting to think his season's starting to get a bit warm. Even though he made finals last year, how they ended the season was appalling. Really, they should have not made finals. Freo should have won that game against Port, but didn't, obviously. But yeah, Carlton, I think, will just miss the finals this season. Finishing 9th will be tough. And coming in at 8th, the team who I think will finish 8th will be the Sydney Swans. And listen, Errol Goulden looks to be out for a while, which sucks so much if you're a Swans fan. I mean, it just sucks for Errol Goulden to be out like that. It does suck a lot, it does suck. And I just think the Swans aren't as good of a team as people are saying them out to be. I mean, the Swans, they got the premierships. When the team gets belted, they usually don't have a greater season next year. Like the Swans, 2022, perfect example. Got belted by the Cats. Next season, probably should have missed the finals because that Ben Key's goal. But they finished 8th. And it wasn't great. Last season, obviously, Brisbane won the grand final, but still, I'm trying to think of another team that got belted. 2021, Bulldogs got belted and then finished 8th, just barely scraping the finals. In the grand final. Barely scraping into the finals. I think that'll happen to Swans again. Yes, the Swans have got Eric Gould now, probably arguably their best player. I think it is their best player in their team. I think Warner is close second. But just having an injury like that, and also new coach as well, it will take him a while. It will take him a while to get back into that rhythm of getting starting to get used to the system that they're playing in. So I think they'll take a little while. I think I'm putting them in 8th, but don't count them out, those ones. I think they're still a very good team. Coming in at 7th, I do have the Adelaide Crows. The Crows are making the finals. I just really like the Crows this season. I mean, I did this exact same thing last year, and obviously that did not pay off. I think I predicted them 7th exactly, and they finished 15th. And if the Crows finish, but anything below 9, Matty Nick's got to go. I'm sorry, he's got to get out of the team. Even 9, I think, isn't good enough. But 7, you make a final. You're just disappointed to miss out on the home final. But the Crows are my liking. I really like them this season. They beat Brisbane in the Pracky match, but yet again, obviously, it's just a Pracky. It's just a pre-season match. Pre-season doesn't really do much of the AFL season because players are trying, but they're not trying their best because they also don't want to get injured as well. They don't want to injure themselves and try hard, which a lot of pre-season injuries did happen. But I think the Crows finishing 7 is a good position for them, and I have them finishing 7th. Coming in at 6, I do have the Brisbane Lions. I have them outside the top 4, which not a lot of people have done. I have Brisbane out top 4 solely because of Joel Danaher and the premiership. The premiership hangover is a real thing. Look at the last 4 premiers who have won. 2020, Richmond won in the 2021. Missed the finals. Yes, Dusty got injured, but still they missed the finals. 2021 grand final. Melbourne won the grand final. Next season got double doinked in the finals. Straight sets. 2022, Geelong won the grand final. Missed the finals next season. 2023, Collingwood won the grand final. Missed the finals next season. It's a real thing in the AFL. And I think Brisbane are a bit more mature. I think they've got a very good coach. I don't think that will happen to them. But I think they will slide out the top 4. Last season, they weren't top 4. We got to remember that. They were 5th last season. Didn't have Graham away season. And they've lost arguably your most important player on your team, Joe Danaher. And they're asking a lot of your youngsters. And youngsters did well last season. But now can they back it up another year? I love Kyle Lohmann. Lance Morris, I really do like. Cam Rayner, I think, is ready to explode this season. Have a massive year. But yet, Brisbane again, they're becoming older. Will they still be a good team? Yes, they'll still make finals. I still think they'll be pushing for that grand final. I think they'll have a really good final series like they did last time. But I just have them missing out the top. I have them making the top 6, finishing 6th this season. Coming in at 5th, I have the GWS Giants. And it'll be a Sydney Derby final like last season again, but this time elimination. Yeah, the Giants missing the top 4. I feel pretty confident at Giants missing top 4. I mean, last season they had a prime opportunity to win the grand final. A prime opportunity. They had a great game against Sydney where they should have had a home premium final and they kind of sold that. And then you sell it against Brisbane. That is unforgivable. The Giants, if they went on to beat Sydney, would have definitely gone on to beat Port. I think they would have versed Port or they would have versed Brisbane potentially. I don't know, but it definitely would have been an easier road to the grand final. And if they would have versed Brisbane in the grand final, I mean, yeah, that'd be really good. I think they would have versed Brisbane in the grand final. Then yeah, that'd be a really good game. Brisbane GWS. I still think Brisbane get jockeys, but it'd be really good. But again, the Giants. I just think the Giants will miss top 4. Everyone's so bullish on the Giants every year, and the Giants just need to win a grand final with this team. They have to. I think Adam Kinley is a top 3 coach in the AFL behind, I think, Sam Mitchell and Chris Scott. Maybe Fagan as well. They're my top 4 coaches. But I think the Giants will just miss top 4. Yeah. Now, speaking of the top 4, and coming in 4th, I have the Collingwood Football Club. And I hate Collingwood with all my heart. But I just think with Dan Houston, Harry Perriman, and all other good players coming into the side, they'll make the top 4. And they'll be pushing for premiership again, sadly. But I think Collingwood only have 1 to 2 more years of true premiership contention and they'll slide down. And they can be bad for a while because Tasmania. So they're really putting their chips and saying, hey, fans, this is a must-win grand final. Another win for a grand final here is almost a must-win for Collingwood. And I reckon they can get it. They're going to be fourth. I have a really confident opinion about Collingwood going all the way this season. I don't think, no. I'm not going to say I'm a premiership predictor today, but could be up there though. But I haven't quite done this though. But, yeah, so we'll go into this one. Heading into it. Coming for third, I do have Freo, and oh my god, I can only hear people saying, Hawthorn bias, you put him in top 2. No, let me talk a minute. Freo coming in third. I really do like the proposition of Freo, or flag medal, as a lot of people like to say. I don't want to say that because I want to be flag hawk, but you never know, it could happen both ways. Freo coming in third, I have a really confident opinion if Freo will be good this year. They were pretty stiff to Mr. Fongs. They had injuries, had a really tough run home. They should have beat Port. They should have made that 8th position. And they would have, I reckon, given Brisbane a better crack than Carlton would have. They would have given Brisbane a way better crack. And it would have been a better game. Sadly, that wasn't to happen. But yeah, I just see, Freo, they're a top 3 side in my opinion. But yeah, I really like them. Big year for Josh Longmire. It's do or die. I think if you don't make finals, you're out. If you make finals, you could be in. If you make top 4, you're guaranteed in. And coming in second, I have Hawthorn, the Hawthorn Football Club coming in second, and I didn't put them in first. I'm not that biased. Maybe a little bit. I'm not that biased. We are definitely way overhyped. I'm saying that from a Hawthorn fan. I am shit scared this season. Because if we don't perform, I can already see the media swarming on us. Like Kane Corns, he was just going to say, Hawthorn, they're so bad. They're going to be terrible. I like Kane Corns. If that happens, Kane, please don't do that. Because I really like you. You're really funny. But, anyway, I find this... I think Hawthorn should make finals. We've made... And top 4, I think, as well. We put Bass and Battle in that defence to make this defence, in my opinion, a top 3D in this competition. The full forwards do scare me, but I think once we get Deer back, we'll be about a month out, and Lewis will be about 1 or 2. I think we'll be a scary prospect, and I think we'll just glide home. I think we might start a little bit shaky. We might be about 5 or 3 or 4 and 4, 6 and 2 potentially. A bit shaky to start, not the best, but then that middle patch just glide through teams, smack them like we did last season, and then come second. But I don't think we're good enough to pass, in my opinion, the best team in the AFL this season, which will be Geelong. Geelong coming in first. I don't think it gets better. Geelong came third last season with a team that didn't look very talented on paper. But now you've had players like Bailey, Smith and Moore. Yeah, Geelong are finishing first. I'm saying it, I think Geelong are a lock for top 4. So yeah, but yeah, Geelong finishing 8th. Don't sweat it. I mean, Geelong finishing first. Don't sweat it. I hate the Cats, but sadly, I've got to put them first. I just think Geelong are such a good team. And yeah, I wish nothing for them to be good because I hate them so much. Final ladder consists of 18th Richmond, 17th West Coast, 15th Essendon, 14th Dogs, 13th Melbourne, 12th St Kilda, 11th Gold Coast, 10th Port, 9th Carlton, 8th Sydney, 7th the Crom, 6th Brisbane, 5th GWS, 4th Collingwood, 3rd Freo, 2 the Hawk, and 1st Geelong. And now I'll give you my predictions for the season as well, like Brownlow and stuff. I'll go to that now. My grand final prediction is the Cats versus the Hawks at the MCG, and I think in a very close affair, Geelong defeat Hawthorn 114 to 99 in a 15-point game. I just think the Hawks will lose, man. I'm really looking forward to the season, but I just think the Cats are unbeatable. And yeah, the Cats going to be so good. My Brownlow medal will be a surprise pick. I reckon Will Ashcroft goes all the way and wins a Brownlow this season. That's a surprise pick, but I'm really bullish on Will Ashcroft. My Coleman this season, give me a player I think many people might be sleeping on. He's a player that's really good. He does some really nice things. I'm going to go... Okay, no one sleeps on this guy. Jesse Hogan's my Coleman again. I mean, yeah, he's going to win it again. No one sleeps on Jesse Hogan. My rising star... Isaac Kako. He looks really good, doesn't he? So I reckon he's my rising star for the season. And my surprise All-Australian will be Will Ashcroft as well. Can I do that twice? I'm doing it twice. Will Ashcroft, Brownlow. Jesse Hogan, Coleman. Isaac Kako, rising star. What's his face? Will Ashcroft, surprise All-Australian. Geelong, Brett Hawthorn, the grand final. Thank you guys. It's only 2 days till AFL season starts. Peace.